first thing we talked about in this lesson was solving an equation with one root. And so we talked about this in class. There are multiple names for the x-intercept, or just what we call solving for x. We call them roots. You'll see right here it says find the zeros. It's also sometimes called zeros of an equation. All this means is just to solve for x. That's all it means. It's a lot of fancy words just to tell you to solve for x. So you have something called roots, you have something called zeros, and this is also the x-intercept. It all means the same thing. It just means solve for x. That's all it is. So you see right here we have two equations, and all you got to do is just solve for x, which you've all done before and you should all be very comfortable with. So number one, to get the x by itself, I just add 3 over. I get 3x equals 3, and then I divide by 3, and I get x equals 1. So there you go. The zero of the equation is 1. The root of the equation is 1. The x-intercept is 1, and then x is just 1. I mean, that's all it stands for. It's nothing fancy. It sounds harder than it really is. Number 3, again, I'm just solving for x. I subtract 4 over. I get negative x equals negative 4. Now remember, you cannot leave that negative on the x, so treat it like a negative 1 and divide by negative 1. So I get x equals positive 4. So that's all you have to do to find the zeros or the roots of an equation. Just solve for x. Next, let's take a look at what this looks like if it's a no solution.